Hello, this is Jenny Quinn from the Center for Innovations in Teaching and Learning at UCSC. I am thinking a lot about the upcoming quarter, thinking about giving my lectures in a remote format, but I'm also thinking about building in smaller group learning experiences, interactive experiences. That's always been an important part of my practice. Some might call it office hours, but this is often when I interact with students and really get to have conversations that inform my own understanding of their misconceptions. And when I understand the misconceptions they're having, it really makes me a better teacher. I also just very much enjoy the smaller group interactions with students and getting to know them in that way. So I've come across a tool in Canvas. It's actually in Canvas Calendar that I want to share with you. It allows me to chunk out my office hour time on my calendar and also slice it into different time slots that students will sign up for. And I'm able to limit the number of students who sign up for those time slots. So it's really a very nice tool. I think it's helpful for me as the instructor and also really helpful for students planning their time. So the first thing I want to show you is not actually the tool, which is called appointment groups. I first want to let you see how I've been able to sync my Canvas calendar, which is here on the left, with my Google Calendar. I use Google a lot with my colleagues. I schedule a lot of appointments through Google, and so it's very handy for me to have any of the meetings, anything that I schedule on my Canvas calendar to automatically show up on my Google Calendar. So to do this, you would click into your calendar in Canvas, which is here on Global Navigation and never disappears. You'll always be able to find your calendar. Click on Calendar, and using the longer scroll bar, bigger scroll bar on the far right, you'll come on down to where it says Undated, and under that is the calendar feed. You'll see a URL. I'm copying that to my clipboard. I'm now going into my Google Calendar. I'm going to click over here on this wheel, Settings menu, and then on Settings. And then what I do is I just scroll down a little bit till it says Add Calendar. Click there. From URL, here is the box where I paste the URL in my clipboard. If I check this box, the events and meetings that I schedule on my Canvas calendar will be public. I'm not going to check that. For people that observe my calendar, it will say busy. I go ahead and add calendar. And now as I schedule these office hour sessions with students, they will also show up on my Google Calendar. So here I am back in my Canvas course. I went there by going from the dashboard to my tile, clicking on the tile, and taking me into my course called Assessment for Learning. And here is the calendar. And from the calendar, you look up here, you have a couple different choices, but you find this plus symbol and Create New Event. I'm going to click on Create New Event. And then there are some tabs here, and you get to Appointment Group. Click on Appointment Group. I'm going to name this Office Hours, and I'm not going to name it Week 1 because I'm going to leave that the option to continue to add these sessions, these blocks of time, week after week. Over here on Date and Time Range, my office hours, I start teaching on Tuesday, so my first office hour is Wednesday the 1st, and it runs from 2 o'clock p.m. to 4 p.m. In addition, on the next, let's see, I think it's actually on the Friday, so it's Wednesdays and Fridays, the 3rd, I have an office hour from 10 a.m. until 11 a.m. And over here I'm going to put the location, which is actually going to be a Zoom meeting, and I've already scheduled that or set that URL link up. So I would just copy the URL here. I am going to select the calendar, which is Assessment for Learning, and that is the course for which I want these office hours offered to students. So I select that course. Now I've decided to divide this time into 30-minute time slots. So I'm going to leave the 30 minutes here, but this is certainly something you could change. You could do more, you could do less. When I click go, that is what generates the different half-hour time slots. So let's look through this. Yep, that looks about right. There's always an extra one. I'm not sure exactly why. You can click this X and delete it if you choose. Couple more details. One is here, and that is that I could have students sign up in groups. So if, for instance, I had assigned a group presentation, this would be a great tool for having students sign up for their time slot to present their final project. I am going to limit each time slot to 8 students. 8 students seems to fit very nicely on the Zoom screen, making a 9x9. Me with 8 students makes a 9x9 small group, and I really like the way that appears, and I feel that's as big as I want to go. However, if you have a very large class, you're going to want to really rethink the number of users, just to be sure that every student would have an opportunity to participate in a small group. I will not allow students to see who signed up. But I could select this, and then the students would be able to see the names of who has signed up. And I'm going to limit my students to signing up for just one of these appointments. Here, I could put the Zoom URL as well and some meeting details that students will see. And once I'm happy with my selections, I click Publish. And we can look at the 1st and the 3rd on my calendar, and we see these lightened out reservations of my time during these half-hour sessions. As students begin to sign up for the different office hours, the box will darken. So now I'd like to take you into the student view so you'll be able to see what it looks like from a student's end in terms of signing up for these different office hour sessions. Okay, so here we are looking at the course from the perspective of one of my students, T.S. Eliot. And let's go into T.S. Eliot's calendar. Okay, T.S. Eliot at this point, on the 1st and the 3rd of April, I do not see any of those time slots that I saw on my calendar. So let's go and click on Find Appointment, this button here, and selecting my course. I even get a notice at the top of the screen that says the next available appointment in this course is on April 1st. And there we are. So I can see now as T.S. Eliot, here are different appointments I can sign up for. So maybe T.S. Eliot thinks that 3 o'clock is a great time to do office hours. Clicking on the box, there's I'm going to actually close this message. Okay, then T.S. Eliot sees their office hours are being offered April 1st from 3 to 3:30 in this course. And here would be a Zoom link. T.S. Eliot would just click on that link. Gives T.S. Eliot a little more information. And again, I think it'd be really nice if the meeting link, the Zoom link, were included. T.S. Eliot could add a comment. And as soon as clicking on reserve, can see that the plus symbol has turned into a check symbol, and T.S. Eliot is signed up. When T.S. Eliot closes the appointment function here, the 3 o'clock appointment has been scheduled on the calendar. I'll now return to my course as an instructor because I do want to share with you the important notifications that students need to turn on so that they will see invitations for appointment groups. Just as instructors do, students can turn on notifications in their Canvas account. In my account, I click on Account, and notifications. And here you can see my notifications. For appointment groups, scheduling should be turned on. If students are not receiving invitations to sign up for appointment groups for your course, have them check in their notifications to be sure that their scheduling is turned on. I hope that this was helpful, and I hope that this supports you to create smaller groups and smaller, more interactive learning experiences with your students this quarter of remote instruction. Thank you so much.